গুড ইভিনিং, শুভ সন্ধ্যা। আপনারা যে যেখানেই আছেন, এনটিভির আমাদের স্বাস্থ্য অনুষ্ঠান থেকে আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগতম আপনাদের প্রতি শনিবারের আমাদের স্বাস্থ্য প্রোগ্রামে। প্রতি শনিবারের মতো আজকেও একটি বিশেষ সাবজেক্ট নিয়ে আমরা এসেছি। আর সেই সাবজেক্টের নামটা বলার আগে আমাকে মনে করতে হচ্ছে যে একটি ফুলকে বাঁচাবো বলে আমরা যুদ্ধ করি। 1971-এ যখন এই অগ্নিজোড়া মার্চ মাসে আমরা যখন যুদ্ধে ঝাঁপিয়ে পড়েছিলাম বাংলাদেশকে বাঁচানোর জন্য, একটি ফুলকে বাঁচানোর জন্য, আজকের অনুষ্ঠানটা ঠিক সেরকমই। আমরা আমাদের শরীরের একটা অঙ্গদানের মাধ্যমে আমরা বাঁচাতে পারি আরেকজনের জীবন। আর আজকের টপিকটা আমরা চুজ করেছি সেই ভিত্তিতেই, যার নাম হচ্ছে অর্গান অথবা কিডনি ডোনেশন। আমার আজকের প্যানেলে রয়েছেন বেশ কিছু অভিজ্ঞ যারা কাজ করছেন দীর্ঘদিন থেকে এই ফিল্ডে। আমার এই এপিসোডের পরে এখানে চলে আসবেন একজন বিশেষজ্ঞ কনসালটেন্ট এবং একজন পেশেন্ট। আপনাদের প্রতি শনিবারের মতো অনেক প্রশ্ন থাকতে পারে, আমি চাইবো আপনারা প্রশ্ন করে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানকে সমৃদ্ধ করবেন। আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে কিডনি অথবা অর্গান এটা একটা নিউ সাবজেক্ট আমাদের কাছে। সো যত বেশি প্রশ্ন করবেন প্যানেলের কাছ থেকে আমরা তত বেশি জানতে পারবো। অনেক সংখ্যা থাকতে পারে, অনেক প্রশ্ন মনে আসতে পারে। আপনারা হেজিটেট না করে আপনারা দয়া করে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানে অংশগ্রহণ করবেন। আমার কথা আমি না বাড়িয়ে, let me introduce my guest today here. As I mentioned, the program is on organ or kidney donation, and I have a very sort of expert guest here today. We will change our guest, as I said, in the second segment when we will have a consultant and a patient. So you can relate your question whoever you choose to. But let me introduce my guest today here. On my first right, I have Val Lee. You worked in NHS for last 25 years in different positions, different services.
Yes.
Then you became a patient panel representative of Whipps Cross. Now you are chairing Organ Donation Committee of Whipps Cross, which is a part of Barts Health NHS Trust.
Yes.
Welcome to this show.
Thank you very
thank you
much.
for coming.
Thank you for having us here.
Okay, thank you. And then the second right, I have Sabra Said.
Yes.
Sabra Said is a community leader working in Waltham Forest for very long time. You are also working with patient panel representative. Yourself, you mentioned you're a patient.
Yes.
You also worked with Asian
Community groups.
community groups.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And then we have a very special lady. She is an author. She has written a book, More Than a Match.
More Than a Match.
More Than a Match. We want to hear from you as well. That's Della Ido. Welcome to the show, Della.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having
I know that there are lots of traffic problem, but still you were able to make it. Okay, let me ask the first question. Val, why you are running this campaign, organ donation campaign with the BME communities? Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yes, I'm chair of the Whipps Cross committee, and Whipps Cross is part of Barts Health now.
Right.
Barts Health has the Royal London Hospital, large transplant centre, but as an organ and tissue donation committee, we're supported by NHS Blood and Transplant.
Okay.
There's a London regional committee, so they give us lots of advice. Well, NHS BT at the moment are running a big campaign to try and encourage a lot more BME people to get involved in organ transplant, to talk about it, to join the register.
So that's BME means Black Minority and ethnic communities. Okay.
Yes.
Why this particular campaign you are leading in this region, in the Barts region, if I could say? What are the main reason for that?
Well, I'm a local resident to Whipps Cross Hospital. We have a large BME community. When I worked in the NHS, I set up a system where we worked with patients and staff to improve services, and I visited about 50 local community groups.
Okay.
A lot of them were Asian, Afro-Caribbean, Somali. And I do know from the work on the committee that Asian and black people are likely to be 3 times needing an organ
Mm-hmm.
than the white community. So it's really important to raise awareness about this.
Wow. Is there any particular reason for the Black and Asian communities needing organ more than 3 times, against their counterpart like white people? Is there any particular reason you think? there?
Well, I understand, because I'm not a clinician myself,
Mhm.
that it's a mixture of genetics and
Okay.
lifestyle, but they're more likely to get diabetes,
Right.
they're more likely to have heart failure.
Right, exactly.
And so these are the sorts of illnesses that lead to kidney failure.
Right.
And kidney failure is one of the biggest needs for organ transplantation. So it's really important that we talk about partly a healthy lifestyle, but also raise awareness about organ donation, how important it is. And one of the things that we do know is that if they're in a situation where their loved one has died or is dying and they are asked about organ donation, the possibility, it is the Asian and Black community that is most likely to say no to organ donation. So again, it's really important to give them information
Right,
about
okay.
the
So
process.
there are some social obstacles as well, lack of understanding within the community, and
Yes.
you're trying to overcome these obstacles or misunderstanding.
Yes, encourage
Okay.
debate.
Okay, super. Let me go to Sabra. How you become involved in this work, this particular work of
Yeah.
organ donation?
Firstly, I'm a patient panel representative
Right.
in the West Cross, and Val knew me when she was looking after the patients panel.
Okay.
So when she wanted to set up her organ donation committee, she rang me and she asked me to come and join the committee, because I do work with the local Asian groups in the
Right.
community. So that is my reason for joining this committee.
Okay.
But when I was asked to do this, I was not a patient.
Oh, so you became a patient after
Yes.
you become involved with the patient panel
Yes,
representative?
yeah.
Wow,
And
okay.
so it was only after that I was diagnosed with renal failure. Both my kidneys have failed, and I'm now on dialysis.
For how long you're having these problems?
I've been diagnosed for more than 4 years, but I became a dialysis patient 3 years ago.
Does it mean, Sabra, that you are waiting for a kidney for yourself as well?
Yes, I am waiting for a kidney for myself. I'm on the live organ donation list.
Okay.
But
I mean, it's waiting list.
yes, I'm on the waiting list.
You're on the waiting list. For how long you're waiting?
I've been waiting 3 years since I've been on dialysis.
You're waiting for last 3 years?
Yes.
Did you get any response?
No, actually no, simply because we don't have very many people from our community, the Asian and the Black community, donating their loved ones' organs. So because of that, we don't.
Okay, so you're saying that the demand is more than the organ we have in our
Absolutely,
bank.
absolutely, yes.
Okay, I think we'll have the further questions as well. That people like you who are waiting for last 3 years or probably more than 3 years.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility that you can get a kidney from any other communities? We'll probably come to that later
Yeah,
on.
okay.
But let me go back to this author, More Than a Match.
Thank you.
Can you tell me about that? What is your interest in that particular project, in this particular campaign, and what is More Than a Match book is about, Della?
I was a potential kidney donor for my brother who had kidney failure, and I offered to become his donor simply for the reason that I know that Black and Asian people are very reluctant at donating a kidney.
Sorry, so your brother needs a kidney.
Yes.
And you express your interest to be a donor.
Yes, I expressed my interest to be a living donor.
Okay.
I know that we can live a healthy and active life with one kidney. So it made sense to me, well, if I only needed one, and my brother needed one desperately, to give him one of mine. So I did the test, went through the whole donor experience. But one of the things I found out when I was going through the experience was the lack of information, especially for the Black and ethnic community with regards to being a live donor. We know a lot about joining the organ donor list, but in terms of actually being a live donor, which involves giving one of our kidneys to a close relative, a member of our family, and in some cases a friend, a lot of people don't have all the information they need, and that brings up the fear, the whole misconception about being an organ donor. So More Than a Match actually is my experience of being a potential donor. It talks about the tests that you involve, and also the emotions that you'd go through, which the doctors can't tell you. So it's really my journey to try and encourage more Black and Asian people to consider organ donation for their loved ones.
So you become an advocate now for that cause.
Yes.
Can I say that?
Yes.
You're an advocate for organ donation from the BME community.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm really campaigning for Black and Asian people to look, especially those who've got kidney failure, to look towards their family members for donors, to come together, and I see More Than a Match, my book, as a tool that the family can use to sit down and actually discuss, know more about being a live donor.
Are you pleased now that NHSBT or NHS is at least running campaign within the BME communities in so many ways? And today's event is part of this as well, that people will get more information about it and will probably become interested to register themselves in the donor register. Are you pleased about it?
Yes, because I think information is vital.
Sure.
And I think it's a lack of information that brings about fear and lack of confidence about being a donor. So what the NHS are doing, running these campaigns, creating more awareness, promoting living donation as an option as well to help family members with kidney failure, I think it's a fantastic idea.
Let me come back to you later on to get more ideas about the campaign. But Val, how, obviously you were the chair of the organ donation committee of Whipps Cross Hospital, which is run by Barts Health NHS Trust. Is it? I mean, is this the campaign you're running, or is there anything else you are doing to raise the awareness within the community, within the East London community as a whole?
Well, I feel very strongly about organ donation anyway, because my husband's also a renal transplant patient.
Okay, so you are a carer as
So
well.
luckily,
Okay, so you're a
13
personal
years
patient.
ago, comes up for the anniversary of 13 years of having had a transplanted kidney. So he's had 13 years more life than he would have done otherwise. He would have died within about 6 months, I think.
Okay.
And so he helps me on any of the work that we do around the committee. Because as Della said, it's difficult for people to know about organ donation and to ask questions, to have the opportunity to ask questions. So what we've done with the committee is we've met a group of local community leaders. They came into the hospital and we had a good discussion. We had one of the consultants there, the specialist nurse on organ donation, and myself
Sorry,
and
what
others.
are these pictures for? Is this picture related to what you were saying?
Yes, yes, we had the local religious leaders come in, and
I can see an imam is here as well. So
yes, Sabra and Narinda
Okay.
Mataru, who's also on the committee, they helped to organise this. They knew who were the best people to invite in.
Right. Is there any other campaign you are doing in coming days? Is there anything else?
Well, yes, this year we will, on the 21st of May, we're going to be holding a big event where we're going to invite patients and carers to come in with local officials to encourage them to ask as many questions as possible.
21st of May. And whereabouts this program would be?
Well, it's going to be at a place, it's a hall, a community hall that people
Where?
do know
Where?
locally in Leytonstone.
In Leytonstone. Is it open for any patient or any carers to go there and
Well, we're aiming it mainly at the Waltham Forest community.
Okay.
And if we have enough space to open it up to other patients who come under Bart's health, because that's the core centre.
What it will involve, exactly what would be the day on 21st of May, what will you do over there?
Well, it's going to be a mixture of having speakers who are experts in their area.
So there will be consultants?
Yes, so there'll be consultants there. We have one of our local cardiac consultants who's going to talk about healthy living, because he often does talks about heart disease. But we're also going to have specialists there to talk about renal failure, kidney failure, and to talk about the organ donation process.
And there will be, I'm just assuming there will be stalls of information as well, isn't it? Yeah?
Yes, we'll bring as much information as we can, but also we want to give people who attend the opportunity to ask questions. They might want to ask my husband what it feels like as a renal patient and then on dialysis. He was on a different dialysis to a different type of dialysis to Sabra. They might want to talk to Sabra as a patient and to talk to Della about living donation. So it's a mixture of things. It's to our big aim as a committee is to educate staff and patients.
When we say BME community, it's not only Bangladeshi community. There are communities such as black communities, there are Asian communities. Are you doing any other media activities in coming days?
Well, we're hoping to do more televised talk shows, again targeting different types of communities, so that we can spread the word as widely as possible. And then also, it's World Kidney Day next week. That's on the 14th. We can't do something on the 14th, but on the 12th at Whipps Cross, we're also holding an open exhibition, encouraging staff and people to ask us questions there.
Right. Okay. So there are lots of programs coming up in coming days.
And more.
Sure. Della, I have only 2 minutes to go to the break. Can you tell us something about living donor? Exactly what you mean by that?
Personally, I think living donor is really the way for Black and Asian kidney patients to go if they don't want to spend years on dialysis.
What does living donor mean?
It's mainly when a living person, a relation, brother, sister, aunt, mother, father, actually donate one of their kidneys to a relative.
Okay, right, okay. What is your experience, Sabra, as a patient of kidney receiver, organ failure? What is your experience?
Well, I haven't received a transplant yet because I haven't had a donor, but I am on hemodialysis. And for hemodialysis, it's a chore because you have to spend at least 15 hours a day in the a week in the hospital, because we go for dialysis 3 times a week, and each session is for 4 hours. So, but by the time they put you on a machine and then take you off, you've had, you have to spend that much time.
Wow, okay. What would be your message to the viewers as the chair of the Organ Donation Committee of Whipps Cross? What would be your final message to the viewers? I have only 30 seconds to go.
Please talk to your family and friends and let them know how you feel about organ donation. It may be no, I don't want to do it, but it's really important that they know, because then if they're ever asked, would you be prepared to donate organs of your loved one who's just died, they know what their loved one wants. It's a terrible decision to make.
Thank you. Very strong message and very strong appeal to the community. Well, I'll have to go to a commercial break, and I'll have new panel as well. I wanted you to talk a bit more, but unfortunately time goes so quickly that we plan for lots of issues to discuss, but sometimes we don't get enough time. Dalla, thank you very much for coming to the show. Hope to talk to you another time in the future. Sabra, thank you very much, and
You're
wish
welcome.
good luck. Hopefully, you'll get a kidney, and it will be a transplant at some point.
Inshallah.
We wish all the best for you. And Val, thank you very much for running this campaign. And I hope from NTB and from the community, all the best for your committee.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
giving
very
us the
much.
opportunity.
Thank you. Viewers, we're going to a commercial break, and after that, we'll come with a new panel where a consultant will be available to talk to you about your all clinical questions you may have. So please pick up your phone and ask your any questions to the consultant who will be available in the next episode. Thank you for watching us, and please be with us. We'll be back shortly. Thank you.
আপনারা দেখছেন স্বাস্থ্য বিষয়ক অনুষ্ঠান আমাদের স্বাস্থ্য।